Hey guys, I'm Izzy, and this is the guide for the Sha of Pride, the 4th boss in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. In this encounter you have to deal with the Pride mechanic. You get a resource bar that starts out with 0 Pride, and different abilities give you Pride. If you get 100 Pride you will be mind controlled. Norushin helps you out in this encounter, and every so often 3 players, of which at least 1 healer, get a buff called the Gift of the Titans, which makes them immune from Pride gains. If these players stand close to each other, they will get a buff called the Power of the Titans, increasing damage, healing and haste by 15%. For this reason you want to keep the raid stacked up behind the boss. The tank should keep the Sha faced the way he looks before the encounter starts, so that the raid will be closer to the ad that spawns every so often. These are called manifestations of Pride. They can cast Mocking Blast, which deals 225k damage and gives the player hit 5 more Pride. This can and should be interrupted. When it dies, the 2 closest players to the manifestation gain 5 Pride due to the Last Word ability. The raid needs to kill manifestations as quickly as possible. Make sure to have those with less Pride be closer to the manifestation when it dies. Every minute the Sha will use Swelling Pride, which does damage and gives you 5 Pride, and has more consequences depending on how much Pride you have. If you have 25 to 49 Pride, a Void Zone will be put underneath you, which you will need to run out of. Once players get to 25 Pride, the entire raid will need to move when Swelling Pride is cast. These zones only last for a few seconds though, so afterwards you can move back in. When you have 50 to 74 Pride, other types of Void Zones will spawn called projections. You will need to move into it to prevent it from doing damage to the entire raid. The projection you need to stand in will be marked with a green arrow. When you have 75 to 99 Pride, you will get a debuff that lasts 20 seconds and does damage to nearby players. This means you will have to stay away from the rest until it expires. So let's move on to some more regular abilities. First off, the Sha casts Wounded Pride on the tank, causing each hit he takes to give the tank 5 more Pride. This, of course, requires a tank switch. His second ability is called Corrupted Prison. This teleports 2 players on 10 men, and I'm assuming 4 players on 25 men, to the prisons around the room. They can be freed by having 2 players stand on the locks, as you can see in this video. Every second the imprisoned players take damage and gain Pride. We assigned 3 players to each prison, so that when one gets imprisoned, the other 2 can still free the person in their assigned prison. If we got really unlucky, we called it out on Ventrilo so that someone else could assist them. You should mark the prisons with raid markers for easier communication. The Sha also regularly puts a dispellable debuff called Mark of Arrogance on a few players. This does damage and increases their Pride every few seconds. This can be dispelled, but dispelling it will give the dispeller 5 Pride, so you should have the healer immune to Pride gains dispel the debuff. Every so often the Sha casts Self-Reflection, spawning ads under random raid members. These explode for 250k damage each after 2 seconds. So if you are grouped up, this is also a point where you have to spread out. Afterwards you can group up again and kill off the reflections. Lastly, at 30% the Sha becomes unleashed, killing Norushin, and he will start dealing 270k damage to everyone every 10 seconds, increasing their Pride by 5. You should use Heroism at this point. Norushin also resets everyone's Pride at this point, and it becomes a DPS race. You shouldn't however forget to kill ads that spawn. Once you get used to moving at the correct times and freeing people from prisons, you should be alright. If you liked this guide, please comment and subscribe. And if you want to watch the entire fight, feel free to watch the rest of this video. I'm Mezzy, and I'll see you again next time.